Hello everyone. I have recently, a number of times, been asked why did I decide to write Speaking It's Not Worse Than Death. And I thought it would be a great topic to do a Facebook Live about, because this journey I've been on for the last 6 months has really taken me on a roller coaster, a good roller coaster. I don't normally like roller coasters. Hi, Jose. And I don't like fast rides, but this has definitely been a fast ride that I have been on. Some of you may know that earlier this year, my father passed away, and it was the hardest thing in my life that I've had to face to date. And when faced with losing my dad, hi Matt, he said to me that before he passed, to live your life with no regrets. And while I was grieving the loss of him, I was really conscious of my own mental health and the fact that there's been a number of times over my life where I've been taken into darkness and I've let situations completely consume me and take me to not a happy place. And obviously losing your father is not a happy place to be in. And I didn't want to go to completely darkness having lost him, because it was so beautiful having him as my dad, and I am so grateful for everything to do with him and what I learnt from him. And hi Susanna. And I want my memory of him to be of light and happiness and not to be of darkness, which easily grief can be a dark place to go to. So I decided I wanted to shift that. So I put myself on a journey of making big changes in my life. Hi, Lee. And I made the decision to retire from the public service after 26 years and follow my passion to be a coach. And last year I completed this, became a certified world-class speaking coach with Craig Valentine and Mitch Mason. And that was something just before my dad got sick that I was about to launch into. Obviously I put that on hold to be with him. And after he passed, I, as I said, decided to leave my job from the public service and take that passion that I had and make it a reality and become a speaking coach. I'd always privately wanted to write a book, but I didn't really tell anyone about it. It was one of those dreams that I had that it was something I wanted so much. I didn't want to tell people about it because I thought they'd laugh at me, and what have you got to share with the world, Kayleen? Why would you want to write a book? Why would anybody want to read your book? Why, what have you got to offer? And I thought about it, and I realised that over the last 16 years, I've actually been helping people overcome their fear of speaking. And they've had success, and they've really found value in what I was able to offer them. And I thought, wow, that is what I can talk about. I can talk about my fear of speaking. Hi, Keith. Hi, LV. Hi, Satan. And I can talk about the fear that I had. So that's where I thought I could marry my dream of being an author and writing my own book with the vision of my new business of setting up my speaking coach business as well. So to take it back to my fear, I absolutely was terrified of speaking about 17 years ago. It built over a number of years. At school, I wasn't that shy. I had a good network of friends and I was quite friendly and confident. But over the years, in my 20s and 30s, my confidence really dropped and it went down. And I got to the point where I really hated speaking in front of groups. And when I talk about speaking in front of groups, I don't mean large groups, I mean groups of two people, and I was better off listening than actually contributing and being part of the group. And it really was impacting me from a social perspective, but also in my career. While I was good at my job, I was failing because I couldn't speak up at meetings and I couldn't sell myself. Like, if I was forced to speak, I would, but I really was uncomfortable. I didn't know how to put words together clearly. I didn't know how to sell the work that I was doing. I just was so nervous about everything. And just over 16 years ago, I decided I wanted to move to Canberra permanently. Hello, Rod. You know this story quite well. You were there when I faced my fear of speaking. And to win a job in Canberra, I had to speak in front of two people on an interview panel. And the thought of doing that just made me sick in the stomach. So I decided to do something about it. And I joined a Toastmaster Speechcraft course back then. Hi, Gerard. And hey, Rod. And I was terrified, to say the least. I actually waited. I knew this Speechcraft course was coming because I'd seen it on the notice board at work. And I waited until the night before it started to ring up. I think deep down I was hoping that it wasn't going to have a space for me on the course. So I rang the night before and the amazing Dawn Summers said, of course we can fit you in the next night. And I think I was excited but like freaking out because I'm like, really? You can get me in the next night? And she did. And I turned up. Hi, Colleen. Oh, it's morning where you are. Good morning. And I attended my first night of the Speechcraft course. And Rod was there. And I tell you, I went green and I was shaking under the table. And all I had to do was stand up and say my name and the colour of my toothbrush. And I blurted out red, but it wasn't really red, it was pink, but that's all I said at the time. And it proved my point. When I was in a situation that I was uncomfortable about and in front of people, I just couldn't think clearly. And hi, Nicole. And I just went to pieces over simple little things like saying my name. I remember the next week I had to do a speech for the first time, and on the way to the venue I drove around and around and around, and I just could not pull into the driveway to enter the venue where I had to go. But eventually I rang up Dawn and she convinced me to go. I did survive my first speech, and it was nerve-wracking. It was something that I don't even know what I said today. I wish I had have thought to record it back then. And I completed the course. Colleen, it's after 1 o'clock over there. Halfway through the day. I really have got my times wrong. Hi, Nicole. Good evening. Thank you, Gerard. You're being so kind. I love your feedback you shared earlier as well. So what came of that course? I completed the course along with Rodney. We both grew so much during that course. And I went and I did my job interviews. And I spoke in front of the panel of 2 people, which, as I said earlier, groups of 2 or more freaked me out. And I won not 1, not 2, but 3 job interviews within a matter of weeks of finishing that course. Hi, Linda. Hi, Luca. And what was amazing at the time is one of the jobs I won was actually 2 levels above what I was at the time. And when I looked back at what I had achieved just in a short period of 8 weeks in that course, I thought, wow, if I can face this fear and really learn how to articulate my message, how to speak more clearly, how to sell my ideas and my topics that I need to talk about at work, what could I achieve? So I actually back then joined Toastmasters, and the last 16 years I've been a member of Toastmasters. As I said, last year I did the world-class speaking certification course to be a coach through Craig Valentine and Mitch Mason. And I've been mentoring and coaching people for years. And, you know, now I feel good. I did have a break recently when my dad was sick, about 6 months. So when I came back and started speaking, I was a bit nervous and I was not as confident as I had been. But now I'm pushing myself even further because now I'm doing Facebook Live. And how do I feel, Gerard? I'm doing it. The nerves that I had before I pressed start have gone, and I'm just talking away and enjoying engaging with everybody. So this is, for me, another step in facing my fear, is to challenge myself to do Facebook Live. So that's a bit about my fear of speaking. So that's why I decided to write my book, which is Speaking It's Not Worse Than Death, because overcoming my fear really opened doors for me at work, in Toastmasters, in other groups, to develop myself as a leader, to connect with people. And I've traveled, I have met the most interesting people in the world because I overcame that fear and grew some confidence and started letting my voice be heard. And I feel that if that's the change that's happening to me because I overcame my fear of speaking, I would like to support other people so they can feel it. Now, obviously, you're only one person and you can only help and support the people that you connect with. But I thought, if I put this in a book, well, then the reach is far further than me. And people that I may never meet in my life may benefit from the experience that I've had in overcoming my fear. So the book does talk about how to overcome your fear of speaking, and I share tips about that. And then I draw on my experience over the years from what I learned in Toastmasters, other courses that I've done on public speaking, and the world-class speaking tools that I've got from that certification as well, to help people be able to craft a speech that they can deliver with confidence, that they know that it's hitting the mark with what they want to say, it's got a clear structure. They're able to use stories to be able to really connect with their audience. And I really feel like if you can share a story in your speech, you live your story, you relive that story, so you're not thinking about your fear as much. And that's one of the great ways to help you speak with confidence and not be as fearful. It also includes some tips about if you want to do a question and answer session. I tell you, once I overcame my fear, and then they said to me, oh, and Kayleen, you're going to have to do a Q&A after your presentation. Whoa, talk about fear, come back again. I just was overwhelmed because learning to speak and present was one thing, but to be in a position where you are letting the audience interact with you and you need to think on your feet, that was another hurdle for me to face. So I've included some tips about that. And another area that I often find challenging is that networking and social networking before the speech and after the speech as well. And I still struggle in networking areas with having confidence, but as a speaker, I seem to do it better. So I've shared some of my tips in there about how I actually do it. And one of them is I really prepare for networking situations. I prepare for questions like I would with a job interview, because that's the only way that I can break through the ice. Gerard, I'll just go back. True, I find I can see the moment in the story and feel what I felt. Absolutely, Gerard. I think when we share stories and we go back into that moment, we relive it. And when you relive it, you connect so much more with the audience because they're feeling what you're feeling. So well done, Gerard. And good luck. I thought I saw that you're in a contest coming up. So all the best for that. Annie, thanks for watching. So that is a bit about why I wrote this book, Speaking It's Not Worse Than Death. It's a book that I hope will help people start to overcome their fear of speaking, that the tools I give them about being able to craft their speech will help them gain more confidence as a speaker. Thank you, everybody, for listening. And that's Kayleen Ledger, now published author of Speaking It's Not Worse Than Death. Until next time, keep your stories and share them. Thank you.